So you want to main that BT16 pre-release, you want to get that Ukkoman that you surely deserve, or you just want to know what is actually in BT16 currently happening? Well, I got you covered. My name is Yor, and today I'm going to talk about all the cards in BT16 and what you should include in your seed. Now with that said, I want to mention a few ground rules for a pre-release in general. So if you are a veteran player, just skip to the time skip mentioned in the screen. Now with that said, let's go. So how does a pre-release actually go? Well, you get 6 booster packs of the current set, so BT16, 2 pre-release packs from BT16, and you get a participant card. That participant card I will talk about when I talk about the rookies. So what's so special about it? Well, first things first, a normal deck is going to be 50 cards, but in pre-release it's going to be 40 cards. So with those 6 booster packs, you craft your own 40 card deck. You can also include the pre-release cards and the participant card, but this may vary depending on your LGS. The second thing is going to be something quite important. If you cannot already tell, the first page of this beautiful set is going to be all in different colors. There's no just red and just yellow. It's just going to be everything else. So it's quite hard to meet the color requirements mentioned. Why? You just need to pay the cost. For this example, Digimon costs 3 to evolve from any level 4. It does not really matter which color, it just needs to pay the cost. The only thing that is gonna be specific is gonna be colors that I mentioned within the card. So for example, Sylphimon cannot be in a Digivolve from purple and green Digimon, gotta be a red and a yellow level 4. So with that 2 ground rules, on the ground, there's just one thing missing. Digitamas are usually uncommon. There are some small exceptions, but let's not talk about them right now. So it's most likely the point that you don't have enough Digitamas to just run your normal 4 card deck of your Digitamas. So what do? You are allowed to play a rookie into your raising area if you do not have a Digitama at the time to hatch. So you do that instead of hatching a Digitama, you just play out a rookie into it. But you do not get a draw because you did not evolve, and any on-plays or the things alike are not triggering. So that's it. So now that we got this cleared out of the way, how am I gonna do this video? I'm gonna talk about the levels from level 2 all the way to level 7. So with that said, let's go with the level 2, and it should be quite easy because it's gonna be the DGX. So I'm just gonna use the filter. We have 6 DGX. Usually you want to include as many DGX as you can, but for whatever reason you get all the DGX from your 6 packs and you don't know which you should pick. Let's talk about them briefly. So Poemon is a level 2 that has the inherit of when attacking once per turn. If this Digimon has 2 or more colors, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 2k or less. This is quite amazing to have in the meta or like in a seed format where usually rookies are the way to go to de-damage. Being able to just kill a rookie outright while swinging is a pretty nice thing. So if you get that card, include it. But I mean, if you don't get the choice, right? The next egg is going to be Digimon. It has the alternate effect of while this Digimon has 2 or more colors, it gets 1 KDP. Pretty nice. It just makes your Digimon beefier and more likely to stick during a security check. But again, it's a Digitama, you're gonna use it eventually. You don't have another choice. Next is gonna be Upamon. Upamon is gonna be a Digitama that only has an opponent's turn effect, that while this Digimon has 2 more colors, this Digimon gains blocker. It's an defensive option that can come in handy, though I would probably prefer to have another egg than this. But again, if you don't have another egg and this is your only egg, you might as well include it. The next egg that we're gonna have is gonna be Minamon. All turns, once per turn, when this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle, if this Digimon has 2 or more colors, gain 1 memory. I mean, being rewarded for clearing the board is kinda nice. But besides that, I have the same sentiment as Upamon, that you would like to see some other eggs, but I guess if this is the only egg you got, you're gonna take it. Next is gonna be Doraemon. All turns, once per turn, when another Digimon with blocker is deleted, gain 1 memory. So in this format, it would depend how many blockers we actually have. But considering that we only have a few Digimon that have blocker, and you don't want them to be deleted, I don't think this egg is gonna be like the must choice pick if you get it. But if you have it, it's an egg, right? So you just use it. Last but not least, Digimon has an undeletion effect by trashing one card, gain one memory. This doesn't seem really good, but considering that, you know, sometimes you have brick hands and just gaining one memory by discarding a card that you probably won't need, I mean, I think it's a bit better and not as situational as, for example, a Digimon. But again, if I would be ranking them on a scale, and this is just one thing I'm gonna do for the X, it's gonna be Pokemon on first, probably Digimon on second, then the effect of Minimon. Depends on how you want to play. Upamon is gonna be better than Minimon, so these are interchangeable, and then these are on last. Probably Digimon first, and then on that last Digimon. But yeah, these are the Digitamers. Now we go for the rookies. And the first rookie we're gonna talk about is the participant card, Vmon. He's a play cost free 1k DP buddy, and he evos for 0 on to normally blue or green, but you know, for this video I'm just gonna stick with anything. His effect is gonna read: once per turn, your turn, when this Digimon would Digivolve into a card with the free trade, if you have a Tamer, reduce the evolution cost by 1. And he has the inherit of, when attacking, if this Digimon has 2 or more colors, draw 1. Now, this is just a good card. I mean, just in general, for all the rookies that I'm going to talk about, if you do not have a specific number of rookies, my personal preference is going to be 12. If you don't have 12 rookies, just include them. But for this Digimon, I would say if you have it, and everybody's going to have it because it's the participant card, include it. It's a good Digimon. Having 2 more colors is pretty easy in BT16, and to evolve into a free Digimon for basically 1 less, being like, you know, it's gonna be a normal evolution anyways. If you have a Tamer in play, that's really good. But if you already have a Tamer in play, this means you are already at an advantage to your opponent. So yeah, I mean, it's a rookie, you include it anyways. So starting with the first rookie, we have Hawkmon. Hawkmon is a 3 cost to play, 2k DP, and 1 cost to evo. Unless your name is Pokemon, then it's gonna be 0. Effects: your turn, once per turn, when one of your other Digimon is played or Digivolves, if it has a free trade or is yellow, gain 1 memory. Its inherent effect is, when attacking, once per turn, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Now, this Digimon, in my eyes, is a pretty good Digimon. For one thing only, its inherent effect. Because evoing for 1 is quite expensive in a situation like this, and the effect that it provides is not as brain breaking as you would hope to be, unlike somebody else. So for now, I'm just gonna rate it last. You know, if it's a rookie, you're gonna include it. But the inherent effect of suspending one of your opponent's Digimon is quite handy to get rid of most of your blockers. And remember, it is a 2-colored Digimon. So any of the X that I mentioned earlier from the O2 series, so Pokemon, Digimon, Upamon, and Minimon, will be active with those rookies. So I guess that's one thing to consider. His Your Turn's effect is going to be present in a few Digimon that I'm going to talk about, aka the next 2. And if you have a deck full of free Digimon in general, and he also counts as a free Digimon, but he's not counting himself for the effect, it's pretty good. Moving on, Patamon is a 3 cost to play, 2k DP, 1 cost evo. Yeah, you're gonna see this a lot today. Start off your main phase on play. If it's your turn, one of your Digimon may Digivolve into a level 4 Digimon card with the Angel or free trade in your hand with the evolution cost reduced by 1. And his inherited effect says, when attacking, treasure top evolution card of one of your opponent's Digimon. This is not once per turn. Now, is that Digimon good in Seed? Kinda. Again, I'm not a fan of the 1 cost evo, but his effect being on start of your main phase and on play is pretty nice. He can also just target himself to evo into another free Digimon or level 4, which can come in handy, and depending on how the level 4s are across the board, this is a pretty good card. His inherent effect is kinda mad because most of the time you don't care about the sources of your opponent unless there's something specific, like, you know, Hawkmon being able to suspend. In a meta where you just want to rush them down, you don't really care. So for that, I'm saying if you're missing rookies, just include it, but he's a lot better than other options that we're going to talk about later. Continuing about talking about other options, Vmon is the Digimon that has the same stat line as the other Digimon mentioned before. The only difference is his effect is going to be if a free or green Digimon is played, gain 1 memory, and his inherent effect is just a your turns, this Digimon gets plus 2 KDP. Now this is something I really like. It's the similar situation with the other Digimon. I don't like the 1 cost Evo, but the 2 KDP on my turn means that if I check security, I'm most likely to survive if I don't have jamming by any other mean, and we get to that later. But also just removing the board is nice. With like superior stat line, you are pretty safe to swing over something. So that's why I like him. But again, 1 cost Evo makes it something pretty clunky. But you will see. I would include him, he's a rookie. Next, it's Agumon. I think one of the best cards you can pull for this format. Agumon is a 3 cost to play, 1 KDP and 0 cost to Evo. So something I really like. On play, reveal the top 3 cards. Add 1 Lightfang card among them and 1 Nightclaw, or add 1 2-color card among them to your hand. And the rest goes to the protect bottom. Now, his inherent effects reads, all of your opponent's security Digimon gets minus 3k DP during your turn. This is a nice thing to have. Why? Let me tell you. First of all, you can search almost any card in your deck. And you can even search himself, because he is a Lightfang Digimon. So you're all good shit. And his inherent effect is just nice. You are just free to attack your opponent's security with all your rookies. Because if there's gonna be a rookie in there, and there's a high chance there is gonna be a rookie just in there, you are good, you're surviving. And that level 4 that you were swinging with is 100% surviving this. Because most of the time, there's not anything bigger than a mega that can, you know, delete you in security better. So if you find this card, just include it. Most of your top end, most of your mid game is dual colored, so this is a nice card to have. Next is Salamon. Same stat line, actually not the same stat line. Play cost 3, 1 cost DP, 1 cost Evo. Evo's for 0 on Niaramon, which is not even in this set. But start off main and on play, if it's your turn, you can Evo into a Holy Beast or a free Digimon. So it's kind of similar to Patamon, and it also has the same inherent effect of Agumon. So this card, despite its low DP, is a nice card to have, because as I mentioned before with Agumon, minusing your opponent's security Digimon by minus 3k makes all of your bodies just stickier. So it's a nice inclusion. And if you are lucky to get it, I mean, hey, good for you. But it's a rare, so good luck. Next is Kokabuterimon. It's a 3 cost, 1 KDP, 0 cost to Evo, and on play searches the top 4 cards from the Insectoid and bottom decks the rest. This inherent effect is, while this Digimon is suspended, it gets 1 KDP. For sealed, this card is bad. You never want to unplay it. You just Evo into the back and put a level 4 on top of it, and you call it a night. That's how you use it. If you have plenty of rookies, don't include it. It's not doing much. It's not going to be a swinger. You don't want to unplay it, but it's a rookie nevertheless. So there it goes. Next is Terriermon X Antibody. So 3 cost to play, 1 KDP, 0 to Evo. Has the effect of when this Digimon would digivolve into a Gargomon or Rapidmon in its name, reduce the cost by 1, and inherent effect, why this Digimon is Gargomon or Rapidmon its name, it gains piercing. Now in this set there's nothing like a Rapidmon or Gargomon unless you're talking about Rapidmon X, which, you know, it's a nice thing to have, but it's quite unlikely because Rapidmon X is a secret rare. So consider this card just as a rookie. It does not do a lot for you. It is just there to be in the raising area and to evolve into a 4 cost. That's his only job. Set. Next is Pulsemon. Similar set line to Terriermon. Actually just the same function as Kokabuterimon. It's a searcher for its archetype, revealing a card with Pulsemon in its text and a card with Evident Electronics, so the Tamer. And why this Digimon has Pulsemon in its text, it gets 1 KDP as its inherent effect. I mentioned it before. It is just a searcher for its archetype. So unless you are looking to play Pulsemon Tribal in BT16, you're not using this card in your seed format. Next is Warmon. He is a 3 cost to play 2 KDP in Evo for 1 unless your name is Minamon. Then similar effect than the other start of main. If it's your turn, one of your Digimon may evolve into an Insectoid or a free Digimon and reduced by 1. And then his inherent effect is, when attacking, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. This is, in my opinion, just a better version of Hawkmoon. Insectoids are a trait that you are most likely to hit with the level 4s. We will talk about the level 4s in a second, but this just has a bit more options, a bit more control, and it's also sort of your main and on play. So if you really want to, you can just include this in your deck if you find a lot of Insectoids cards that are level 4, like the cards I'm going to mention later on, or you just want to have a bit more control. For that, I am really looking forward for this card. Now, going to Armadillomon, he's going to be the equivalent to Hawkmoon. 3 cost to play, 2 KDP, 1 cost to Evo. His your turn's effect is if another Digimon is played and has a free trait or is yellow, gain 1 memory, and its inherent effect is same as Vmon. But it's not your turns, it's gonna be our turns, and it's gonna be 1k less. It's not the same. What am I talking about? Anyways, is this card good? Situational. I think it's good if you can give the stake blocker, and you know he's just gonna be 1k stronger than before. But besides that, if you have the other cards, I would include them more than him. But his your turn's effect is still useful if you have a lot of free trade cards to just hard slam onto the board. So with that said, we move on. Commandomon is gonna be a 3 cost to play 1 KDP 0 to Evo, and his effects basically are both the same. All of your other Digimon with the D Brigade trait gain 1 KDP. Unless you are lucky and your entire deck can be D Brigade, this card is just bad. It doesn't even see play outside of Seed. So just consider this card as a rookie that you need to fulfill your requirements. Now, the next card, that card is special. We're gonna have Duomon, 3 cost to play, 2 KDP, 1 cost to Evo. Now, unlike the O2 Digimon, this Digimon has a sort of main effect that says by placing a Kusuke Kisakata, I'm gonna butcher a lot of names today, from your hand at this bottom evolution sources until the end of your opponent's turn, this Digimon can't leave the battle area other than by deletion. That's pretty good if you have the Tamer. Also, our turn's effect, this Digimon gets 1 KDP. So this is a pretty nice effect if you have the Tamer. If you don't have the Tamer, it's just a vanilla. And if it's just a vanilla, it's quite expensive to Evo in. Again, if you have Doraemon, it's gonna be 0. But I'm not having a lot of faith. If you pull it though, it's an SR. Congratulations. But just consider this as just another rookie for the time being. Next is gonna be Hagurumon, which has the stat line of 3 cost to play, 2 KDP, in 0 cost to Evo. So something I really like. It has a when Digivolving effect that you cannot trigger without a Hagurumon on the field, so I'm just gonna skip it over. But the inherent effect is nice because it has blocker. But people who just want to know, they can read. Nah, I'm joking. When Digivolving, you may play 1 cool Hagurumon token that has Digimon Black, 1 KDP, blocker, decoy Black, and your turn this Digimon can't attack. It's nice if you want to include that in his, his respective archetype, but the main reason why you want to include this card in your deck at all is it is a rookie that can evo for free, that can attack, and has blockers and an inherit, which is kinda good. So we like those. Next is Yakumon X Antibody. It costs 3 to just hard play, 2 KDP, and 1 cost to evo. Unless it's Yakumon. Then you can evo it, X Antibody evolve. But yeah, otherwise it evos for 1 until level 2. Start of your main phase when Digivolving, your opponent may trash a Digimon card in their hand. If they don't, gain 1 memory. It is quite okay. Inherent effect is when attacking once per turn, draw 1, then trash 1. This card is good if you want to cycle and if you want to deny your opponent cards in their hand, because most of the time they're gonna have a Digimon in their hand, but if they want to trash it, that's another story. But if you get this card, I would include it probably in my deck, because when attacking draw 1, trash 1 just helps to filter out your hand. Though the 1 cost evo cost is quite steep in my humble opinion. I don't really like those rookies unless they have a nice thing, but at that point you're just gonna hard play them, right? Next is gonna be Lobmanix Antibody, 3 cost to play, 1k DP and 1 cost to Evo. Unless you are Kukumon or Lobman, then it costs 0. Effects. On play when Digivolving, by trashing 1 card in your hand, one of your Digimon gets 3k DP for the turn. An inherent effect, and an effect plays one of your Digimon, draw 1. Now, there's not a lot of Digimon in this set that play out Digimon by effect, so the inherent effect is like, it's not really there. And trashing 1 card to boost 1 Digimon to 3k this turn seems nice on paper, but in a format where you only have 40 cards in the deck and you're quite limited on potential card draw in general, I would not trash a card just to boost the Digimon by 3k. At this point, I would just let it run into security and let it die. So this is just for me include in your deck if you don't have enough rookies, and that's more. And last but not least, I guess the card that probably don't need any introduction, Ukumon. Ukumon is the 3 cost to hard play, 2k DP and 1 cost to Evo onto any color. Its effect is your turns once per turn. When one of your Digimon moves from the breeding area, read the top 3 cards, add 1 Digimon or Tamer card among them to their hand, return the rest to the bottom of the deck, and you may hatch in your breeding area. This card, if you get it, you are god blessed, because this card single-handedly just gets you from I want to be fast to I am just gonna be Sonic. It's crazy good to have. And in a seed format where you don't need to care about color requirements at all, you can evolve on top of it. But do you really want to evolve on top of something like that? I don't think so. So with that said, those are all the rookies. Again, I mentioned it earlier, but I'm gonna mention it again. If you need rookies, keep those rookies. You know, if you find rookies, be happy. But most rookies don't really see play outside of the archetypes. Agumon is maybe an inclusion in Shine Greymon decks. Definitely an inclusion in Grace Nova decks. Ukumon is gonna be everywhere. Veemon is gonna be included in the Magnumon deck. Duomon is gonna be included in its respective archetype. But besides that, some decks need to still look for better pieces. But enough said, let's go to level 4s. Now with level 4s we have a lot more to talk about, so let's get right into it. Achillemon is going to be a 4 cost to play, 4k DP and 3 cost to Evo. Unless your name is Hawkman, then it's going to be 2. He has jamming and unplay and when Digivering effect off, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3k DP or less. Inherent effect is the same as Hawkmon's, which says when attacking, once per turn, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. I love this card. It's just removal, it is sticky because it doesn't die in security as easy, and it gives even voice control with his inherent effect. You know, suspending a potential blocker that could block your attack, or just another Digimon that you could swing over with another Digimon of yours is pretty nice. So that's for me, an auto inclusion in the deck. Outside of this format though, I don't see it being played anywhere else, but hey, it's a nice kit to have. Nice card to have. It's a nice pack filler. Next we have Lynxmon, the Evo evolution of Gatomon. Lynxmon is going to be a 5 cost to play, 5k DP and 3 costs to Evo. Unless your name is Gatomon, then it's going to be free. It has raid and armor purge and a when Digivering effect of one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3k DP for the turn. Now, usually I'm a big fan of, control, but I think this card is quite lackluster, and if you cannot already tell, there's a lot of level 4s that you could include in the deck. So if you don't really need another level 4, I would not include that, because it's quite expensive to Digivolve into. The when Digivolving effect, yes, it's gonna remove a body, but raid is, who are you gonna try to swing to? Another unsuspended rookie? You could, you might, but I think there are a few more Digimon that are better in this spot. Plus, this Digimon does not have any inherent effects, so just I'm coming out, I'm doing my job, and it's done. So that's why it's on the lower side for me. Next, we're gonna have XVmon. It's gonna be 4 cost to play, 4k DP, and 3 cost to Evo. Unless your name is Vmon, then it's gonna be 2. He has raid and an on-play when Digivolving effect off. One of your Digimon can't be deleted in battle until the end of your opponent's turn. His inherent effect says, your turn, this Digimon gets 2k DP. Sounds familiar? It's the same as Vmon. Now, it's almost same story with Lynxmon. He has raid. I don't think raid is as useful in this format. However, him being a level 4 that you can just unplay, and him having an excellent effect. It says, you can't be deleted in battle. Means that one of your blockers that is quite, weak is quite safe to block anything bigger than themselves, because they're not going to be deleted. So I think that kind of utility is nice to have. Though I need to preface, I would not evolve into this if I have the choice, because 3 costs to just evolve into level 4 seems kinda tough. Moving on though, Angemon is the 4 cost to play, 4k to 4k DP, 3 cost to evolve, unless your name is Patamon. He has the effect of blocker and unplay and when digivolving effect, and suspend one of your level 4s or lower. The inherit effect is the same as Patamon's, stating that you can trash the top evolution card of one of your opponent's Digimon when attacking. Now, do I like this card? Yes, I do like this card. Why do I like this card? Because in conjunction with the other level 3s of the O2 series, he's potentially a 3 cost to play or a 2 cost to evo, and especially on Patamon, it's gonna be a 1 cost to evo. And just unspending another level 4 is gonna be nice, especially if you survived the security check earlier due to you possessing an Agumon or a Salamon under you. So I really respect that. Besides that, his inherit effect I think is not coming up a lot in this format, but I can see this card really being played in its tribal archetype, so kudos to that. Now we're gonna have Gargamon. I think most people know that card already, but I'm just gonna quickly go over it. 5 costs to play, 5k DP, 2 costs to evo. When digivolving effect off, both players draw a card. Then if your opponent has 8 or more cards, or you have 3 or more evolution cards in this Digimon, gain 1 memory. Inherit effect is jamming. We can just basically skip this when digivolving effect over, because it's not gonna really happen in the seed form. You usually don't have as much cards that you would like to, and you cannot really have more evolution cards than 2 within the seed format. But in its tribal decks, Mirage Gargamon and Quest number 1, this is just a really good card. And for us in seed, just having a blanket jamming effect is all we needed. Just checking into security and making sure our level 5s don't die to anything higher than them is beautiful. So moving on to Togedemon. He is a 5 cost to play, 5k DP, 3 cost to evo unless your name is Wormon. Blocker, armor punch, something nice. Alternate effect, when an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, trash the top evolution card of one of their Digimon. Then one of the Digimon with no evolution cards can't attack or block until the end of the turn. Normally I am not a fan of high cost evolution, whatever. But this card is different. Being able to, block in potentially just purge it away if you are blocking something higher is pretty nice. And also stopping another Digimon from attacking or blocking in itself is also pretty amazing. So you can, trash one source from the attacking Digimon that you are trying to block in a second, and then force another Digimon to not attack or block next turn. The only caveat I see is it's just gonna be the top Digi-evolution card of that Digimon and not any. But I guess it would be more broken than it could be. If you see this card, and it's a comment, so you're probably gonna see this card included. Next we have Mantaramon. It's gonna be the same statline as mentioned before. The only difference is it evolves from Patamon for a bit cheaper. It has armor purge and the when attacking effect of trash any evolution card of one of your opponent's Digimon, then one of their Digimon with no evolution cards gains sec -1 until the end of their turn. I think this is not as strong as the other effect I mentioned, but still, if you value control, you can include this card. If he sticks, he's quite annoying to deal with, and the body that is gonna swing into it, the most they can do is just purge it away. So the body that you use to attack with is still on the board, so this is quite good. Next we're gonna have Gatomon, 4 cost to play, 4k DP, 3 cost to evo, area, and unplay when digivolving. By trashing 1 card in your hand, return one of your level 6 or lower 2 color Digimon cards that is red or purple from your trash. Inherit effect is the same as Agumon and Salomon, that says all of your opponent's security Digimon gets -3k DP during your turn. Now, I like the inherit effect, and I need to state this first. I love it, I mentioned it earlier. But anything else on this card is kinda meh. You don't really want to cycle out another card to get level 6 that is specifically red or purple. If it would have been something like yellow, then it could have saved like one of your big bosses. As of now, this is not really gonna be good in Seed. However, this is gonna be good in Master Mode. Do you include this card? If you want to be sure that nothing dies to your opponent's security, yeah, but maybe there are some other level 4s that you want to make some space for, which I'm gonna mention just about now. Next, Sheepmon has a 5 cost to play, 5 KDP, 3 cost to Evo, unless your name is Armadillomon. Has the keywords of Armor Patch and Collision, and also the effect of all turns when an attack target is switched, you may end the attack. Now, Collision, if for the people that don't know, is the new keyword that says during this Digimon's attack, all of your opponent's Digimon gain blocker and must block if possible. So this basically forces another Digimon to be suspended, and if he wants to, he can just stop the attack right there to just, not die to the opponent Digimon being way bigger than them. Now, this effect is once per turn, but if you have multiple blockers, what this basically says is you can block for free. I wish he would have blocker. Oh, but wait, there's an egg that gives him blocker. So basically, he can just block for free if he wants to, which in my eyes is pretty good. So I would include it, especially if you have Upamon as an egg and other big blockers that you want to be protecting. Next is Harpyamon. Same setliner as the card I mentioned before. Difference is this time it evolves for cheaper from Harpyamon. Armor Purge as an effect, and your turn's effect of when this Digimon checks your opponent's security stack. If you have 3 or more, gain 1 memory. If you have 2 or fewer, recovery +1. I'll be honest, it's a nice card that is gonna pay for itself if it's gonna stick. And it's an even better card if you need to heal one. In a format which is as fast as this, I don't think you have the time to be healing, but I could be wrong. But yeah, besides that, if you have a way to evo into it for cheaper, go for it. If you have one of the O2 rookies, if you have the Vmon with the Tamer play, this is an amazing card. But I don't think it's gonna stick for long, so take this as a include if you don't have another level 4. Digimon is gonna be a level 4 cost to play, 4 KDP, 3 cost to evo, unless you're a Warmon. With Retaliation, on player when Digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and his inherent effect is when attacking, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. This doesn't seem like a lot, but this card just tells me, hey, if your opponent has a big body that you cannot usually get rid of, I'm gonna do that for you. And also controlling the board with the suspend of your opponent's Digimon while in attacking is pretty nice. If you find this card, put it in. Let's move on with the next card, another Insectoid, which is gonna be Blade Kovagamon. 4 cost to play, 4 KDP, 2 cost to evo. Something I really like. On play when Digivolving, one of your Digimon gets 3 KDP until the end of your opponent's turn. And inherent effect, where this Digimon is suspended, it gets 1 KDP. Besides that, this Digimon is just a 2 cost evo, which is quite good, quite nice to have. His when Digivolving effect can come in handy to buff himself up to being a 7 KDP, and with 2 costs to only evo, you are most likely to keep the turn. So I think it's a nice inclusion to have, especially if you have certain cards like Warmon in your deck that can evo for this for potentially 1. Next is Ankylomon, which has a similar stat line to all the other O2 Digimon. He has an on-play effect of when Digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon can't attack players until the end of the turn. Also, inherent effect is all turns this Digimon gets 1 KDP, and he also has barrier. Now the barrier aspect, I would normally say, it's nice, but in a format as fast as this, I'm not so certain if you really want to have barrier. The effect that, an opponent Digimon can't attack and basically prevent him to go for game is sometimes coming in clutch, but I think in a format that goes wide, this is not as good as it sounds. So I would just say, if you have other options, include those. Next is gonna be Systemon, which is gonna be a 4 cost, 4 KDP, 2 cost to evo, and with an on-play, and when Digivolving effect off, by returning 3 cards with the Digipolice straight from your trash to the top of your deck for the turn, this Digimon gains Rush. Unless you have like a Digipolice tribal deck, this card is ass. I would just consider playing it if you need a card that has a cheap cost to evo, but even his inherent effect is kinda bad, so if you can, skip over this card. Next is gonna be Namekumon, same stats as I mentioned before. On play when Digivolving, if you have 3 or more security cards until the end of your opponent's turn, one of your Digimon can't have its DP reduced by your opponent's effect and isn't affected by the Digivolve effect. If you have 3 or fewer, one of your Digimon gain block and reboot until the end of your opponent's turn. For all intents and purposes, This is a really nice card to have when you are on the back foot, because the first effect is not really gonna help you in the long run because there's not a lot of Digimon that can just DDG off you, but gaining blocker in V-Boot is pretty nice, and you can just pick which Digimon you want to give it to. So I think it's a good inclusion. The in-hand effect is kind of useless, but you know, it's nice if it can come up. Next we have Pablimon. Same stats as before. On play, when Digivolving, you may place the top card of one of your opponent's vaccine trait Digimon on top of the security stick, and then all turns, once per turn, when a card is added to your opponent's security stick, if they have 3 or more security cards, trash the top or bottom card of their security stick. I would say this card would have been amazing in BT14 because most of the cards have vaccine, but this here is sadly not it. Most cards actually have the free trade, so it's not hitting a lot. For that reason, just consider this card as a vanilla. Continuing, we have Mechanoimon with 4 costs to play, 5 KDP and 3 costs to Evo. He has blocker and armor patch, and an on play of placing one of your other Digimon with the Digipolice trait as his Digimon evolution sources Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. And this has the effect of your turns, this Digimon with no evolution cards can't attack. So again, I mentioned earlier, if you don't have Digipolice as your, the majority of your deck, those cards that need them as for the effects are not really being activated. So for that reason alone, I would not include that. Next, we have Dorogamon with the keyword of collision. Also, on play when Digivolving, by trashing 1 card, draw 1. Then if you have your Tamer in play, Tamer with SOC under him, one of your opponent's Digimon gets start of your main phase Digimon attacks. Now he also has 5 costs to play, 5 KDP, 3 costs to Evo, blah blah blah. And that effect is gonna be all turns. This Digimon gains 1 KDP. This when Digivolving effect alone of cycling the hand is pretty nice in my opinion. And if you have the Tamer, you have the Tamer. So if you have the Tamer, just include it. Next we're gonna have Dubamon with pretty much vanilla stat lines, 4 costs to play, 4 KDP, 2 costs to Evo. On play, when Digivolving is going to be one of your Digimon gains block until the end of their opponent's turn, and in-hand effect is going to be when an effect plays one of your Digimon, draw 1. I think getting the blocker from like a vanilla stated level 4 is kind of nice. I think it's good, so if you see it, include it. Next is going to be Gizomon X Antibody, 5 costs to play, 6 KDP body, and 3 costs to Evo. On play, when Digivolving, if Gizomon X Antibody are in this Digimon's evolution cards, trash any 3 cards under one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers, and then one of your opponent's Digimon with 4 cards under it can't suspend until the end of their turn. Would be an amazing effect if Gizomon and his antibody would be in the set, but sadly it's not. So let's look at the in-hand effect, which just says when attacking, once per turn, draw 1, then trash 1. I think this card may be worth a consideration, but again, 3 costs to Evo is quite steep. But he's a nice body to swing with, so there's also that consideration. Last but not least, for the level 4s, we have Sephmon. Actually, not last but not least, there's another one. Sephmon is going to be 5 cost 5k, 3 cost to Evo with armor patch and the when Digivolving, when attacking effect. You may choose one of your Digimon, delete that Digimon, and delete one of your opponent's Digimon with DP less or equal to that of the deleted Digimon of yours. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but basically you can pick a Digimon of yours and you can even pick this itself to delete another one, which in conjunction with himself, he can delete almost any of those level 4s while swinging, and then the swing goes through because Armor Patch is gonna just remove that card and level 3 is still gonna swing, which I pretty much like. So if you get that card, include it. Mad Leomon is gonna be the last level 4 that we're gonna talk about. 5 cost to play, 4 KDP, 3 cost to Evo. When attacking, this Digimon may evolve into a Digimon with Leomon in its name from your hand or trash. We don't have any Leomons in this set, so this effect is not active. But end of attack, enhanced effect, end of attack by deleting this Digimon. You may play a level 4 or lower Digimon card from your trash for paying the cost. I would not include the card unless I am not seeing a specific combo. But it's really nice for the tribal deck of Leomon, especially in heavy Leomon with Auto Fortitude, and you just deleting yourself, playing out the level 5 that you deleted, and then playing out the level 4 or lower that can search your stack. But with that said, let's go on with the level 5s. So going with the level 5s, we have Lugamon. He's a 7 cost to play, 8k DP body with 4 cost to Evo. Unless you are SOC Digimon, then it's gonna be free. He has the effects of retaliation, end of opponent's turn. By deleting this Digimon, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP, and an on deletion that says you may play 1 Lugamon or AG Nagasumi from your trash before paying the cost. That's it. Now, how good is this in sealed? Pretty bad. He's pretty expensive to evo into. You can only delete a Digimon with the lowest AP, and in sealed that's most likely a rookie, so giving up your level 5 stack is pretty bad for that. And on top of that, you don't have a Lugamon or a AG Nagasumi even in this set, so don't include this card. Next we have Gaudamon X Antibody. 8 cost to play, 8 KDP, 3 cost to evo. Effects are: on play when Digivolving, you may return one red Digimon card from your trash to the hand. Then if Gaudamon or X Antibody is in this Digimon's evolution sources, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with as much or less DP as this Digimon. Your turn, once per turn. When a red card returns from your trash to the hand, one of your Digimon gains large for the turn. Inherit effect: on deletion, trash the top card of your opponent's security stick. Now this is Phoenixmon support, right? And I would be really happy if there would be a Phoenixmon, like a normal Phoenixmon or a Gaudamon in the set, but it is not. Now, how good is this for sealed? I mean, it is a level 5 that evolves for free, so that's kind of good. And you potentially can return a rookie out of trash to your hand, but his on deletion is, you know, you don't want to see him die. You don't want your level 6 to die, but it's a nifty effect. Besides that, the rush part, it barely is gonna come up because you don't have enough memory to even play out the Digimon granted rush. Next we have Sylphimon, the first DNA Digimon. It's an 8 cost to play, 8 KDP, 4 cost to evo normally, and has a DNA evolution of red and yellow level 4s for the cost of 0. He has the new keyword Partition, which basically means when this Digimon would leave the battle area by any effects that are not yours or by battle, you may play the yellow level 4 and the red level 4 out of your sources, which is kinda nice. When Digivolving, if DNA Digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 7k DP until the end of the turn. You could almost delete any Digimon in the seed format. And when Digivolving when attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4k DP or less. That is just good. And it just means it doesn't have once per turn, so this can come up while you are Digivolving, so you could delete 11k if you want to, and then you can just delete any rookie and most of the level 4s. So I think this is a great inclusion in your deck if you have a lot of red and yellow level 4s, which, you know, considering there are a lot of dual colored Digimon, it's not that hard to me. Also, his inherit effect is also Partition. Next, we're gonna have Divemon. 6 cost to play, 6 KDP, 3 cost to evo. This is something I like. He also has special evolution from Pulsemon's level 4s, but, you know, doesn't come up as much. On play when Digivolving. If you have 3 or more security, unsuspend one of your Digimon. If you have 3 or less, return one of your opponent's level 4 to the bottom of their deck. Inherit effect at the end of the turn. And at the end of attack, once per turn, if this Digimon has Pulsemon in the stack, by trashing the top card of his security stack, unsuspend this Digimon. Yeah, sounds familiar. It's gonna be quite the same for all the Pulsemon level 5s. But I think this is a great card to include in your deck. And not only is it common, so you're gonna see it, it is for 6 cost to hard play. It is removal. He is an ace target. This is quite important, I think, for most of the level 5s that are just hard slammable. Next we have Magnangemon. 6 cost to play, 6 KDP, so you know, flame half-life target. 4 cost to evo, unless your name is Angemon, then it's gonna be free. On play when Digivolve. If it's your turn, search your stack. This Digimon may Digivolve into a Digimon card with the Angel or free Great Angel trait among them with the evolution cost reduced by 2. Then shuffle your security stick. If this effect Digivolved, you may place one Digimon card with the Angel, Archangel, free Great Angel straight from the hand at the bottom of your security stack. Inherit effect: opponents turn all of your Digimon with the Angel, Archangel, free Great Angel straight game blocker. This is a good card for a suspective deck. I don't think it's a good card to play in seed. Next we're gonna have Patamon. He's an 8 cost to play, 8 KDP, 4 cost to evo. He has Partition and also the DNA evolution of blue and green level 4s. When Digivolving, suspend all of your opponent's Digimon with as many of your evo cards as this Digimon. And if DNA Digivolving, none of the Digimon can unsuspend until the end of their turn. When attacking, once per turn, suspend one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. If this effect didn't suspend, unsuspend this Digimon. His inherit effect is as same as Sylphimon, the Partition effect of that he already has on his own. So, is this a card you should include in your deck? If you have a lot of blue and green Digimon that are level 4, yes. Next, we're gonna have Tempermon, 6 cost to play, 6 KDP, 3 cost to Evo. Special evolution from level 4s with Pulsemon in the text, also for free. On play when Digivolving, if you have 3 or more security, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 4k. If you have 3 or less, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2. Enter for attack, inherited by once per turn. If this Digimon has Pulsemon in its text, by trashing the top card of your security deck, unsuspend this Digimon. How do I feel about this Digimon? Well, despite his name being Tempermon, I don't think that he provides a lot of tempo to the game. Jokes aside, I think the first effect of giving a Digimon minus 4k is kinda nice. The sec minus 2 is not as good in a format where people would like to go white. I think in his own deck he has potential to see play, but I don't even think that you would like to see this instead of other pieces that are coming up. So for me, this is just a good card to just hard play if you have a lot of aces, like I mentioned before. I think this is also nice in the sense of if you can manage to play it down early or get it on the field while you have 3 or more, or exactly 3, the minus 4k DP to just remove a body is kind of nice. But besides that, it's not really a good card in my opinion, but it's a common card, so you're most likely gonna end up with it. Next is gonna be Piston. Same set line as the other Digimon. Same set line as the other Pokemon level 5s. But he has an on-play when Digivolving off. If you have 3 or more security cards, spend one of your opponent's Digimon. You can't unsuspend during your opponent's next unsuspend phase. And if you have 3 or fewer security, gain 2 memory. And her effect is the same as the others. Now, this is the card I really like. Because basically what it comes down to, if you are at a disadvantage and you are trying to evo up to your level 6, you know, if you are like 3 security or less, you can basically evo for 1, which is crazy to evo for 1. Now his stats are not something to write home about, but even being able to just hard play him for effectively 4 if you are at 3 security is kind of nice. And if you are at 3 security exactly, him being able to suspend a Digimon and then lock it down is pretty good. Now if there are Digimon that can just unsuspend on their own, it's not as good as you wish to, but it's still nice. Next we're gonna have Metal Life Kuwagamon. It's a 7 cost to play, 7 KDP, and a 3 cost to evo. On play when Digivolving, you may suspend one Digimon, then one of the Digimon gets 3 KDP until the end of opponent's turn. Opponent's turn effect, inherited effect. Once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon attacks, you may switch the target of the attack to one of your suspended Digimon with the Insectoid trait. If this doesn't sound like Tyrant Capitarimon, I don't know what. But besides that, I think it's still a good body. 3 cost to evo is something I really like to see. 7k DP is nice. Also, gaining 3k DP until the end of your opponent's turn is good. And the inherited effect would work with your other Insectoid traits. Obviously, you want to have it going to your level 6, who is like, you know, a big juggernaut. But besides that, it's still a good effect if you can manage to pull it off. So I think it's a good inclusion to have in your deck. Next is gonna be Shootmon. Same set line as all the other Pulsemon level 5s. Same inherited effect. On play when Digivolve. If you have 3 or more security cards, Digivolve 1 for your opponent's Digimon. If you have 3 or less, delete one of the Digimon with play cost 6 or less. Now, this would be an amazing card if all the ace cards would be 6 cost to play, but they are 7 cost. So he's not doing anything. But if you can maintain your life because you are playing a bit more defensive style, the Digivolve 1 is kind of nice. Plus, you know, if you can just evo into him in the early game and you just hinder your opponent from going off your Digivolve one of their level 4s to level 3 again, making them not able to block or whatever, it's kind of nice. So I would include him just because he's a cheap level 5 to evo into, not as cheap as Piston, but you know, he's still nice. Next we're gonna have Tanktomon, 7 cost to play, 7 KDP, 3 cost to evo. On play when Digivolving, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. For each Digi, Police or Divo Grade card among them, reduce the play cost of all your opponent's Digimon by 1 until the end of their turn. Return the revealed cards to the top or the bottom of the deck. Then delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 4 or less. Inherited effect. All turns once per turn. When one of your other Digimon with the Divo Grade trait is played, de-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. I think I mentioned it earlier in the earlier part. If you have a Digi Police kind of deck, those cards are actually good within. Now this card in specific, I have a different opinion. I think revealing the top 3 cards and putting them either at the top or bottom of the deck is quite good. Because, you know, since all your cards are kind of random, you want to select the best cards as possible. And if you can just, you know, bottom deck bad cards you don't want to see, that's kind of good. Now, the fact that you could reduce the cost of your opponent's Digimon by 1 is kind of handy, but just deleting a play cost 4 or less means you can delete most level 4s and all level 3s. I think it's pretty good. Now the inherited effect, it's not gonna come up a lot, but in the late game, if you have the chance to just hard play any other Digipolice card and being able to de-digivolve them and potentially just play another tank Pokemon, that just means you de-digivolve them and then you use the new tank Pokemon's on play effect, which is kind of good. So I would include this card for its sole purpose and the versatility to just remove and look at the top 3 cards. And yeah, let's move on. Dual Greymon is the next card. 7 cost to play, 7 KDP, 4 cost to evo unless you are Dual Greymon in its name or SOC, and then it's gonna be free. He has Collision. Also, all turns when an attack target is switched, this Digimon with an SOC, Trait, Tamer card in his evolution cards may digivolve into a Digimon card with the Beast Dragon, Undead or SOC traits in the hand without paying the cost. All turns effect, as his inherits. All turns once per turn, when this Digimon deletes another Digimon, you may play 1 card with the X antibody SOC trait and the play cost of 5 or less from your trash before paying the cost. And this card is really good in its archetype, but I don't think it's quite good in Seed. It's quite expensive to evolve into. Collision is a nice effect to have, but for all intents and purposes, this is not a good card to include. If you have other level 5s, include them, not him. Next is Zanmetsumon. 8 cost to play, 8 KDP, 3 cost to evo. He also has the special evolution cost of 3 if you evo of a level 4 with Gamamon. On play, when Digivolve. De-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon straight up with DP less than or equal to this Digimon. Then delete one Digimon with a play cost of 3 or less. Now, all turns this Digimon gets all effects of Gamamon and the same as its inherited effect. This card, I would have said, would be good if it does not have the prefix of a Digimon with equal or less DP, because basically he can only target level 5s and lower. He cannot target like a level 6 and he cannot target an ace. So this is not the way you can out an ace. However, I think him being a beefy stat line for 3 cost evo, considering all the other 3 cost evos are usually locked behind their specific archetypes, I think this card is a good card to include, just because it's a way to climb up to level 5. Next is Shakamon. 8 cost to play, 8 KDP, 4 cost to evo, DNA digivolves from black and yellow, Partition for black and yellow, inherited effect of Partition for black and yellow. When digivolving, this Digimon isn't affected by the effect of your opponent's Digimon until the end of the turn. Then, if DNA digivolving, place one of your opponent's Digimon whose level is less than or equal to the total number of cards in yours or your opponent's security stack at the bottom of your opponent's security stack. Now, depending on how you played in the early game and the mid game, this is a really good card because it basically says you can remove like level 5 back to their security. Because if you are full and healthy, you can you can just remove level 5 from the board. Besides that, it's quite lackluster. It doesn't have anything else. It doesn't do much more than just DNA digivolving. I personally would not include that card unless my entire deck is filled with yellow and black level 4. Next we have Aunkenimon and Morimon. I'm going to cover those two specifically together because they have similar effects. One is a blocker and one has retaliation and on play, draw 2, trash 2. Both have the same on deletion that they can play the Tamer. I would not even. Next we have Climbmon. Climbmon is going to be 7 cost, 7k, 3 cost, 2 evo, similar to all the other level 5s of Prisma. Also the same inherited effect. So I will get to the when digivolving. When digivolving, if you have 3 or more security cards, draw 2, trash 1. If you have 3 or less, you may play one Digimon with 6 cost DP or less and then put one in stacks from your trash for paying the cost at the next time your opponent's turn ends. Delete this Digimon. I will straight up say it, this card would be amazing if he had an on-play. But I guess they figured that this is not fair. I think it's a good card if you can manage to pull it off in the early game, but I would not have this card as an auto include in my deck. Moving on, we have Cerberusmon. Cerberusmon, 7 cost to play, 7 KDP, 3 cost to Evo, pretty standard. On play when Digivolving, you may return one Digimon card with the Dark Animal or Shaman trait from your trash to your hand. Inherited effect, when effect plays one of your Digimon gains Rush. I would say this would be a great card in a Anubismon deck or like a old school Cerberusmon loop deck, just not in Seed. This is basically a vanilla that is understated because there's not a lot of dark enemies in this set. When an effect plays one of your Digimon, it gains Rush. It's not a lot of cards that can just play out a Digimon by effect, so unless you're lacking for level 5s, I would not include that. Next we have Sologamon, 7 costs to play, 7 KDP, 4 costs to Evo. Unless it's an SOC, then it's gonna be free. When Digivolving, retracting 2 cards in your hand, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6k or less. If this effect didn't delete, you may play one level 4 or lower card with the SOC trait from your trash without paying the cost. All turns, when one of your other Digimon with the SOC trait is deleted, this Digimon with Tamer with the SOC trait in its evolution cards may Digivolve into friendly Lugomon from your trash without paying the cost. Inherited effect, end of attack once per turn. If your opponent has one or more memory, unspend this Digimon. Now, I mentioned it before, I mentioned it again. This card is for its archetype and it's really not good in Seed. Last but not least, we have Dinobemon. He is an 8 cost to play, 8 KDP, 4 cost to Evo. Has DNA of purple and red level 4s. Petition with purple and red. And the inherited effect of purple and red petition. But what is this when Digivolving? When Digivolving, if DNA Digivolving, you may play one level 5 or lower Digimon card with the free trade from your trash without paying the cost. Then one of your Digimon may gain Rush for the turn and attacks the player. So this is basically Pseudo Blitz. But it's not even Pseudo Blitz because this is only happening with DNA Digivolving. So this is basically saying, hey, one of your Digimon, any of your level 4s, any of your level 3s that is from the O2 series can come back out of the trash and swing. It is pretty good in my eyes. And if I'm seeing it correctly, this is a level 5 allow, so you could even bring back a Sylphimon if you really want to and swing over. It's kinda good. Just see a hard time with purple and red DNA Digivolving in this set. I think it's a good card if you can meet the requirements to DNA Digivolve because this effect. Otherwise, it's basically just being a vanilla. And Petition doesn't proc if you don't have a level 4 and 2 level 4s under that Digimon with the specific colors. So if you have red and purple Digimon, include him. If you don't include him. That would be it for all the level 5s. Let's go to level 6s. So we're gonna talk about all the level 6s and I'm including the one level 7 because I don't wanna make this video out for too long. In it, starting with Valkymon Ace. Probably most people know that as Rule Mode 2.0. 7 cost to play, 12 KDP, 4 cost to Evo if you really want to Evo the hard, 3 cost of Sylphimon, but it's an Ace Digimon so it can Evo onto, you know, anything anyways. On play when Digivolving, all of your opponent's Digimon get minus 5 KDP for the turn. All turns, once per turn, when a card is removed from your security stake, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 8k or less. If this effect didn't delete, this Digimon gains sec +1 until the end of your turn. I mean, it's an ace card. I don't have a lot of things to say besides it's an ace card, just included. But it's a really disruptive ace to just give minus 5 KDP upon your opponent's Digimon. And if they are attacking and you obviously cannot block because he himself doesn't have blocker. And they remove his security, you delete that Digimon that just attacked. So that's pretty nice. And I don't think any Digimon is gonna survive minus 5k and then an 8k deletion. Unless your name is specifically Kausramon or Tyrant Kabuteriamon. But either guys. Or you are, you know, Magnemon X Antibody, but that's another story. Next we have Goldramon X Antibody. 13k, okay, I'm not mentioning the play cost. So 13 KDP, 5 cost to Evo. Evos for 2 of Goldramon, but Goldramon is not in the set. Wait. When attacking, you may use 1 Gold Flame or option card, or 1 option card with the 4 Gold Dragons straight from your hand before paying the cost. All turns, this Digimon gains all the effects of Goldramon, Digimon's Digi Evolution cards. So basically keeping all the 2 tokens. I would have loved if he would have been cheaper to Evo into, but he's just an expensive level 6. So I would not auto-include him in your deck. I would not even include him in your deck, if I'll be honest. Next we have Phoenixmon X Antibody. 13 KDP body, 5 cost to Evo. When Digivolve Blitz. We love to see this. Your turns. Why Phoenixmon or Exantibody are in this evolutions, Digimon's evolution sources. Attach end of attack to all of this Digimon's on deletion effects. And on deletion, you may play 111 KDP or lower red Digimon card with the avian, bird, beast, animal sovereign in one of their traits, other than C animal from your hand before paying the cost D. One of your opponent's Digimon with as much or less DP as this Digimon as the Digimon this effect played. There we go. This is sealed, right? You know, finishing link sometimes can be hard. Having a blitz option on a level 6 is disgusting. It doesn't really matter that it costs 5 because it's still gonna swing. Now the other effect, I mean, it would be nice if their on deletion would turn into an end of attack, but you cannot have everything. But I think this card is a great card to include if you want to go for a finishing game. It's basically Blitz Omni. The problem is finding this card. It's a rare, but I digress. I think it's a good card in Sealed. Outside of Sealed, it's good. It's a good card in its respective archetype, but you know, Phoenixmon is not a strong meta deck. Next is gonna be Vikemon. 7 cost to play, 12 KDP, 4 cost to Evo, 3 cost of Sudamon or Shakurmon. It's an Ace Digimon, so it can blast it Evo. On play, when Digivolve, D-Digivolve 2, one of your opponent's Digimon. Then, none of the Digimon with one of your evolution cards can suspend until the end of their turn. When attacking, do not, it's not once per turn. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with one of your Digi evolution cards. This is good. Now, do you have ways to unsuspend this Digimon? To my knowledge, as of now, no, right now. In a respective deck, yes, this is really good. In Seed, yes, it's an Ace Digimon, it's quite disruptive. That is when attacking effect come up. Surprisingly, a few times, if you actually have Patamon and Angemon in your sources. Besides that, it's an Ace card. It's a quite good, you know, shift in power. I would include it.
Imperiadamon Fighter Mode.
8 cost to play, 30 KDP, 5 cost to Evo normally, 2 cost from, you know, Dragon Mode in general. It's an Ace card. On play, when Digivolving, return one of your opponent's Digimon with as many of your evolution cards than this Digimon to the bottom of the deck. Straight up removal. End of attack, once per turn. Unsuspend this Digimon. We love to see it. Then if Imperiadamon Dragon Mode is in this Digimon's Digi-Evolution cards, return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon to the bottom of the deck. I mean, it's an Ace card. I would just include it just because it's an Ace card, but it's a pretty strong Ace card as that. So let's move on. Imperiadamon Dragon Mode. When Digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon, okay, it's 12 cost to play, 12 KDP, 4 cost to Evo. May be important. When Digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers can't unsuspend until the end of the turn. Then by suspending one of their Digimon or Tamers, unsuspend one of your Digimon. Man, that's pretty good. All turns when an effect plays or Digivolves and your opponent's Digimon. If you have a Tamer, this Digimon may Digivolve into Imperiadamon Fighter Mode in the hand before playing the cost. I mean, you tell me what's good or not. You only have Fighter Mode Ace, right? And at that point, you can just Ace into him. But I think it's, for his when Digivolve effect alone, it's pretty good level 6 that you can have. Next we have Slash Angemon. 11 cost to play, 11 KDP, 3 cost to Evo. Barrier, Reboot. All turns, once per turn. When a card is removed from your security stack, you may unsuspend this Digimon. He is also considered an angel because normally he would be an authority type. Now, is that a generic, simple level 6? Yes. Do we love something like this in our Sealed? Yes. So we include it. As simple as that. Next is Chaosmon. 15 KDP, level Evos from a level 6 or 5. He has also a DNA evolution from black and yellow level 6s. Barrier, blocker. He has petition for level black and yellow level 6s. And he has the when Digivolving effect of Digivolve 3 of one of your opponent's Digimon. Then one of the Digimon gets minus 8k ADP for the turn. End of opponent's turn, trash the top card of both players' security stacks. I don't think you include this card in your deck. Next, we have Grand Kuragamon. 7 cost to play, 12 KDP, 4 cost to Evo, 3 cost on Dynabemon or Digimon with Insectoids. On play, when Digivolving, suspend 2 of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. Cards this effect suspended can't unsuspend during your opponent's next unsuspended phase. Then delete one of their suspended Tamers. Your turns once per turn. When this Digimon becomes suspended, one of your Digimon gains Sec +1 for the turn. And man, if I would say that's a good Ace card, yeah, this is a good Ace card. Being able to suspend 2 of your opponent's Digimon while, you know, acing. So for that reason alone, I would just include it. But you're gonna see why you should also include it in a second. Next, we're gonna have Archelismon. 11 cost DP, 11 cost to play, 11 KDP, 3 cost to Evo. When Digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Then one of the Digimon can't unsuspend until the end of the turn. solid. All turns when this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon and better. If you have 3 or more security cards, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. If you have 3 or fewer, gain 2 memory. It's just good. And you know what's the best part? This is one of the few Digimon that have Pulsemon in their attacks, because having the special Digi evolution requirement of level 5 Pulsemon for free cost Evo and count as Pulsemon in attacks. So any of the level 5s that I just mentioned earlier, I'll just Gucci with this one. And him being able to trash the top security card of your opponent's Digimon, then trashing your own to unspend him, and then swinging into another Digimon to, gain 2 memory. It's quite good. So I like this card. I would include him the second I see him, and he's an uncommon, so hey, it's pretty likely that you find him. Next we have the boss monster, the one or all end all be all, Tyrann Kabuterimon. 14 cost to play, 14k DP, 6 cost to evo from a level 5. Evos from a level 6 with cost of 13 or less for 2. When Digivolving, you may play one Digimon card with the Insectoid or Lava trait from your hand with the play cost reduced by 8. So, that ace that I mentioned earlier is gonna be free. All turns, when this Digimon is suspended, it isn't affected by the effects of your opponent's Digimon. That's also really good. End of your turn, best spinning one of your other Digimon. Return one of your opponent's Digimon with as much or less DP as the Digimon this effect suspended to the bottom of the deck. Well, this is amazing. I have nothing else to say. Just include this. If you find this card, I would take every single Insectoid card that I actually own into this deck and just go. Just go for town. You have it on the board. You have the one level 5 that redirects attacks to him. He isn't affected, so he doesn't get minus DP, or he doesn't care about minus DP from certain Digimon, blah blah blah. It's pretty good. So hey, if you find him, it's good. Next we have Dorogavamon. He has Collision, and when Digivolving, also he's a 12k DP and 4 cost to Evo. Should have mentioned. When Digivolving, if this Digimon has a Tamer card with the SOC trait in its evolution cards, delete one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon or Tamers. All turns. When another Digimon is deleted, you may unsuspend this Digimon. It's a nice and cute generic level 6 or SOC type, but I mentioned earlier, if you don't have an SOC Tamer, this Digimon is not worth your time. Next we have Darktormon. He is a 13 cost to play, 13k DP, 5 cost to Evo, and has the special effect of when you would play this card, if there's a Digimon with the boss trait, reduce the play cost by 6. By returning 6 cards with the Deep trait from your trash to the top of the deck, reduce the play cost by 6. So potentially he could come down for 1. On play, when Digivolving, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the play cost less than or equal to the play cost of one of the cards among them. Trash the revealed cards. And if you turn, 2 of your Digimon may Digivolve into DNA Digivolve into Chaos mode in your hand. I would not include this card. Next we have Faromon. 12 cost to play, 12k DP, 4 cost to Evo. On play, when Digivolving, delete one of your level 4 or lower. Your turns once per turn. When an effect deletes another Digimon, you may play one level 4, level 5 or lower Digimon with the Undead Dark Element trait from your trash without paying the cost. It would be decent. 4 cost to Evo is quite expensive, but just removing level 4 in general is kinda good if most level 4s wouldn't have ammo porch in this set. Next we have Cherubimon X Antibody. 13 cost to play, 13k DP, 5 cost to Evo. Alliance. Quite important. When Digivolving, when attacking once per turn, you may play one level 4 or lower yellow or green Digimon card from your hand or trash without paying the cost. End of your turn once per turn. If Cherubimon X Antibody is in this Digimon's evolution cards, delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower. Which of your other Digimon add 1 to the maximum level to this effect can choose. Man, I wish we have X Antibody. But disregarding the second effect, the first effect is quite good in my opinion, because having Alliance just speeds up a lot of things. It's quite beefy to evo into, but playing out level 4s out of your trash is good. The only caveat is it's gotta be yellow and green. If you think you can close out the game afterwards and you have some defenses, this is a really good card to include. However, again, it's a 5 cost to Evo. It's quite expensive in that regard, but I think Alliance itself can pay it off. Next, we're gonna have Shroudmon. 13 cost to play, 13 KDP, 5 cost to Evo. Same from level 5s with Pulsemon and attacks. When Digivolving, end of attack, once per turn. If you have 3 or more security cards, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 7 KDP for the turn. If you have 3 or less, delete one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. All turns, when this Digimon would leave the battle area by your opponent's effect, if you have 3 or more security cards, by trashing the top card of your security stack, prevent it from leaving. On deletion, recover +1 until you have 3 security stacks. It's quite expensive, don't get me wrong. It's quite expensive to evo into. However, if you have the entire Pulsemon lineup, I think it's a nice card to have. And Considering a small combo, if you have Mad Leomon, you could choose to delete him on purpose to then play out another level 4 out of your trash and just recover one. Recover one until you are at 3. Just do note, as a quick reminder, you are at 40 cards in your deck, so this might as well just kill you. Malone Myotismon, 13 cost to play, 13 KDP, 5 cost to evo. When Digivolve, when attacked by deleting one of your other Digimon, one of your Digimon or Tamers, delete one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. If this effect didn't delete one of your opponent's Digimon, delete one of your opponent's Tamers. All times when one of your other Digimon or Tamers is deleted by an effect, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. I wish this card would be good. Sadly, it's not. I have nothing else to say. I don't think you should include this guy. Next is Big Ukumon. Play cost 12, 13 KDP, 5 cost to you from any level 5. On deletion, return all Tamers to the owner's hand. Then you may play one Tamer card from your hand and one Ukumon from your trash before paying the cost. End of your turn. Once per turn, by returning one Digi-Egg card from your trash to the bottom of the Digi-Egg deck, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level. Then you may play one level 4 or lower Digimon card from your hand to the breeding area before paying the cost. This card is just meant for its respective deck with, Ukumon, Swarm, whatever. It's not really good in seed. Next we have Muppet Monix Antibody. 11 cost to play, 11 KDP, 3 cost to evo from any level 5. Evos for 4 from Muppet Mon, but we don't have Muppet Mon and it's in the set, thank god. Armor Purge. When Digivolving, suspend all of your opponent's Digimon, then this Digimon may attack. All turns where Muppet Mon or X Antibody and this Digimon's evolution cards, all of your opponent's suspended Digimon get -4 KDP. All turns, once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon is deleted in battle or by having 0 DP, gain 2 memory. Hey, if you pull this card in seed, hey, God bless you. Now, the second effect is not coming into effect because holy, we don't have X Antibody in this set. Now, when Digivolving and blitzing basically into your opponent's Digimon is nice. And also gaining back 2 memory for doing so, making this evolution basically cost 1 is also really good. So if you find them, just include it. Also, having Armor Purge is gonna make it even stickier. I have no reason why you should not include this card. Last but not least, we have Magna Monix Antibody. I think this card does not need any introduction, but I'm just gonna say it anyways. 12 cost to play, 12 KDP, 4 cost to evo. Digivolve from 2-colored Magnamon for the cost of 5, blocker, Armor Purge. When Digivolving, if Magna Monix Antibody or a card with the Armor Form trait, this is quite important, is in this Digimon evolution cards, this Digimon isn't affected by your opponent's effects and gets +3 KDP until the end of your opponent's turn, then unspend this Digimon. All turns, once per turn, when a card is removed from your security stack, you may activate one of this Digimon's when Digivolving effect. Rule, trait, has the free attribute. Include this card. Last but not least, we talk about the Tamers and option cards. Now, I think I mentioned it at the beginning, but I mention it again for people that just skip to this part. Option cards and Tamers are quite optional and sealed because usually the Tamers are quite specific to the archetypes and the option card most of the time too. But I will go quickly over them just to have talked about them. Basically, the dual Tamers usually play one of their own Digimon at start of your main, so she plays Hawkmon and Salamon, and then they have a specific effect if somebody DNA Digivolve. But since this is quite specific, I would just say if you happen to pull one of the Tamer and you have one of the partner Digimon, put it in the deck. Besides that, you could put the Tamers in the deck so Vmon is gonna be activated, but they don't serve a specific purpose. She gives -3 KDP. I think he dresses the 3 cost 3 evolution cards under your opponent's Digimon, so Pagemon is most likely to trigger for a certain kind of Digimon. He de-digivolves a Digimon if DNA Digivolves. Again, they are quite specific to their archetypes, so they're not really good. Then we have the SOC Tamers, not the Digimon Seekers Tamers that are Memories Fixer. He is the SOC Tamer, so if you find him, all the other SOC cards are active. He gives Piercing and Blocker. If you mind links to it, Hacker Judge gives Blocker and Barrier. Just do note that the effects will fizzle the second that Digimon is not the specific Digimon in name or in its text. So do note of that. Then we have Louis as another memory fixer, the backbone of Big Ukumon deck. And then we have Aokumon and Mumimon as their human forms for the respective Menomiotismon deck. Those are all the Tamers that you need to know about. Then the option cards of the Digestants are basically 3 cost variants of their special attacks that have specific effects to play out one of their partners and then DNA Digivolve and then gain a specific effect. If you can manage to pull them off, they're quite nice. But besides that, I would not include them. Then we have the Sparkle of Fate. If you would have Rapidmon in this set, it would be nice, but since you don't, I would not include them either. Same for Metropolitan Police Department Community Safety Bureau Cybercrime Division Investigation Unit 11 Digicrime Response Team. Alright, it's gonna be nice if you have Digipolice cards, but besides that, nah. I think same for the SOC, you know, the Demon Wolf of the Castle of Nine Wolves. It's not really good. The only option cards that you could consider, but I would not personally play, is Shadow of B, but it's quite expensive to, you know, spend 2 of your opponent's Digimon, then return all Digimon with the lowest P. If your opponent luckily has a, you know, board full of rookies, it's nice, but besides that, it's quite expensive. And the other option card is Dragon's Breath, one of the option cards that can be played from Guardimon's ex-ante by this effect, but it is quite specific to the archetype, so yeah, there's that. But it reveals a few cards, takes a yellow card or a card for dragons, places this card in a better area, then delays, and then, you know, you can play the option card to try out the dragon from your hand. Yeah, it's not a lot. Same for Duridin, even though I think there's a consideration that you could play this card. Just do note that you need to fulfill the color requirements, so unless you have like the Tamer in play, it's quite hard to do so. And same with Thunder, Flamer, Crusher. Since this is gonna be a dual colored card, it's quite hard to meet the requirement. Just do note, if you have a Digimon with Pulsemon in its text, you can use it regardless. Also, if you have Hacker Judge, you can also use it regardless. And being able to remove a level 5 or lower for 6, if you have a Hacker Judge on play, is nice. And this would also heal you if you have 2 or fewer security. And then in security, it's just a minus 15k ADP onto a Digimon. So I think that's the only card I would consider playing if you have a heavy Pulsemon deck or Pulsemon in text heavy deck. So I think that's it from my end. It's been quite a long video. Here's just a quick panel of all the beautiful altars that you can pull. But yeah, I hope you liked the video. I mean, again, it was quite long, but I tried to go in depth for all the cards. I think at the end I quite rushed it. Because the option cards and Tamers are not really important for a seed better. If you would like me to do this again for EXO6, hit the like button. With that said, I hope you have a beautiful day and have a lot of fun at the pre-release. May Pokemon be with you.